And now to that horrific drag racing crash caught on camera. The car flipping about half a dozen times. Behind the wheel, the star of a reality show who has been criticized for promoting a dangerous type of street drag racing.
At 52, Daddy Dave's name still reverberates through the street racing world. But what surrounds that name is far more complicated than what is shown on TV. Behind the fame, there's a life filled with moments where everything could have ended without warning. Yet somehow, he kept coming back, each time closer to the edge than before.
The daredevil driver behind the wheel, Daddy Dave Comstock, one of the Outlaws of Discovery Channel's Street Outlaws reality series.
I'm sure he's going to pull out all the stops to try and take the crown.
This morning, recovering in a Texas hospital after miraculously walking away with only a serious concussion.
What does it really cost to keep chasing speed after cheating death twice? And how long can he keep paying that price? Join us as we reveal the heartbreaking tragedy of Daddy Dave. Journey into racing. Many people call him Daddy Dave, but only a few people know his actual name to be David Comstock. The legend has had quite a successful career in reality TV and the racing tracks in general, but his journey met a hitch that caused serious problems. Born to the family of Peter Comstock on April 4, 1973, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, Dave seemed to have always been attached to the sport, as he was known to have started off driving an unlikely car, from which he transitioned into racing when he was just a boy. Before transitioning to Street Outlaws, he already started off making a good career in underground street racing, where he drew the attention of one of the organized ERS of the Street Outlaw show. And that was the turnaround he needed in his career, and why he has his current status as a genius in the sport today. He also had a brief career in Pinks, which was where he met his longtime friend, Big Chief. As a young man in Oklahoma, his father owned a Chevrolet Impala. For Dave, it was love at first sight, because having the car around ignited something that is still burning decades after. And his resolve made the bond a whole lot stronger, making him the man everyone knows him to be today. Daddy Dave was only 16 years old when he got his license and kicked off his career on the tracks. Though many car lovers will agree that the Impala might not have really been most suitable for the tracks. As a young man who was just starting off, he could make do with just about anything he had his hands on at the time. Making a career out of racing is a ridiculously expensive venture and requires that racers often have something to do by the side till they are financially stable. But with some tweaks and a rock-solid resolve, Dave set out to build a future for himself and made sure to have fun while doing so. As he progressed in his career with his winning streaks, Dave earned prizes from engaging in races. With that, he could afford a remarkable upgrade to his racing journey. He even got his hands on a 1996 GMC Sonoma pickup truck. Well, he didn't actually own the car, he just drove it. Since Dave's popularity actually hit off when he joined Street Outlaws, not much is known about his early performance on the track. But given the fact that it drew the attention of people like Justin Big Chief Shearer, it must have been one hell of a performance. With access to a better vehicle, Dave was able to upgrade his performance on the tracks significantly. Cars often are part of the owner's identity and speak certain traits about the owner. So with two cars in the race, Dave became someone with sort of a double identity on the tracks. His opponents were never sure of exactly what they were up against, and inspiring such doubt became a major strategy for Dave to stay on top of the game. But his early performance is nothing compared to his career on Street Outlaws. The show gave him fame and troubles at the same time. But how did he handle it? The legendary racer on Street Outlaws. Now, you may be thinking, why is a show like Street Outlaws allowed on TV when it's basically illegal street racing? Well, it may have a weird name, but despite that, Street Outlaws has every approval it needs to be in existence ever since it debuted in 2013. At the moment, the show boasts 15 seasons and is still waxing hard, propelling a lot of other racers to celebrity status. It was on the unpredictable tracks of Street Outlaws that the world got to know about the character Daddy Dave, who says that he owes his transition into the show to his former team negotiator in Pink's, Big Chief. Joining the show was a turning point for Dave for two reasons. The show pushed him to the top of his career, and it might have been the show that ended his career in what was seen as one of the greatest mishaps that has been recorded throughout his career. Daddy Dave wasn't just going to limit himself by appearing in Pink's. He did well there, but, to him, that was elementary. So in the early seasons of Street Outlaws, following the advice of Big Chief, he burst into the scenes and was poised to make a statement in the game. Even though street racing is still pretty much illegal, the show still worked closely with the authorities to make sure that the races were as safe as possible. The roads needed for the race are closed down to avoid interfering with other road users. So in 2013, Daddy Dave made his appearance first in the GMC Sonoma truck, making a statement, and also a move to stand out from the crowd of other conventional racing vehicles. At the time, things were really working out for Dave, as he quickly gathered up followership given his performance on the tracks. Dave got to race some of the big names in the industry, including the likes of his old team negotiator Big Chief, Sean Ellington aka Murder Nova, James Love, and Chris Day, just to mention a few. He also raced side by side with one of the few females ever to grace the tracks, Lizzie Musey. One of the most memorable races that Dave had on the Street Outlaws tracks is one of the races he had with Farm Truck sometime in 2015. The Discovery Channel uploaded a video of the race between the duo, and Dave's performance in the race was nothing short of breathtaking. He came out to the tracks with his pimped-up Chevy Nova, which he had fondly dubbed Goliath, and the car really did its job that day. And even the crew could be overheard saying that he had made a statement with that race. Right from the start line, he kept a long distance between him and Farm Truck throughout the race. Well, as much as Goliath was a major boost to Dave on the tracks, it was also a major setback for him when he was set to race Chucky. Little did he know he was about to embark on a life-changing moment that would almost cost him his life. The Amarillo disaster. The day was August 1st, 2015, and the location was the Amarillo Dragway in Texas. Daddy Dave sat behind the wheel of Goliath, his brand-new nitrous-fed Chevy 2 Nova that had been completed just weeks earlier. It was a no-prep race, meaning the track had no traction compound sprayed down, making it more like racing on a public road than a prepped drag strip. The conditions were quite sketchy, but Dave had built his reputation on handling things that were sketchy. The race started normally, and every other race, Dave launched hard. The nitrous kicked in as Goliath rocketed down the track. But then, just past 60 feet, something went horribly wrong. The car that was supposed to move straight suddenly shot to the right, hitting the dirty median and taking a violent left turn directly toward the concrete wall. The impact was catastrophic as Goliath slammed into the barrier. The car went airborne and rolled violently through the air, flipping 6 separate times before finally coming to a stop in a twisted heap of metal. The pieces of the car flew in every direction, and the front end was mangled beyond recognition. Inside that tumbling wreckage was Dave, experiencing forces that would have killed most people. And most terrifyingly, one of the nitrous bottles had come free from its mount during the crash, shooting out the side window, propelled by a nearly full charge of escaping gas. The bottle struck Dave in the head on its way out. His seat and seatbelt failed during the violent barrel rolls. Dave was essentially being thrown around inside a tumbling metal cage, unprotected, at the mercy of physics that should have killed him. The track workers and his fellow racers immediately rushed to the wreckage, not knowing if they'd find Dave alive or dead. When they finally pried open what was left of the door, they found him conscious but severely injured. Dave's wife, Cassie, later posted updates from the hospital that revealed the full extent of his injuries. He suffered a serious concussion, so severe that he couldn't remember anything about the crash or even where he was. He had a bruised lung from the impact. His body was covered in bumps and bruises. He was kept in the hospital for at least 24 hours for observation. The medical team needed to ensure there was no internal bleeding, no brain swelling that could turn fatal hours after the initial trauma. The car, on the other hand, was destroyed beyond repair. The battered remains were eventually parked behind Dave's shop, Comstock Auto Service in Edmond, Oklahoma. Fellow racers who saw the wreckage couldn't believe anyone walked away from it. But the physical injuries were just part of the story. When Dave was finally released from the hospital and placed on complete bed rest, he had to struggle with psychological trauma. He'd nearly died doing what he loved. His brand new car, the one he'd poured countless hours and resources into building, was scrap metal. And at that point, he had two choices. He could either walk away from racing forever or rebuild and get back behind the wheel. He chose to rebuild. He built Goliath 2.0, incorporating safety lessons learned from the crash. The new car featured stock steel doors instead of fiberglass for better structural integrity. The floor was made from carbon fiber and titanium for weight savings without compromising strength. The heavy glass was replaced with featherweight pieces from optic armor. Every component was re-engineered with survival in mind. But Goliath 2.0 was not nearly as invincible as it looked. Just when everything seemed stable, another trouble began. Goliath 2.0 crashes. It was in July 2021. Daddy Dave was competing in another No Prep Kings event. He was driving his beloved Goliath 2.0, the rebuilt Chevy 2 that had carried him through countless races since the Amarillo disaster. And then, in a moment that felt like déjà vu, everything went sideways again. Daddy Dave lost control of the car just after crossing the finish line, and within seconds, the machine drifted offline and slammed violently into the wall at full speed. The impact was violent, but unlike Amarillo, this crash didn't involve multiple barrel rolls. The car hit hard, spun, and came to rest against the barrier. Track workers rushed to the scene, and this time, when they opened the door, Dave gave them a thumbs up. Dave walked away from a crash that, 6 years earlier, might have put him back in the hospital. The difference was that everything he'd learned from Amarillo had been incorporated into the new car's design. The safety systems worked exactly as intended, protecting Dave even when the car failed. But Dave being physically okay didn't mean everything was fine. In a video posted to his YouTube channel days later, he explained what happened with brutal honesty. To put it shortly, we had a shitty weekend. Right after the 8th mile, I got loose, turned sideways on me really quickly, and I could not recover it, and we blasted the wall. Car experts analyzed what Dave said and came to a conclusion. It wasn't mechanical failure or track conditions. It was a driver error. Dave had a lapse in concentration and delayed deploying the parachutes, the critical safety system that slows down cars traveling at extreme speeds. That split-second delay meant the car was still moving too fast when it reached the end of the track. And when it broke loose, Dave couldn't save it. But there's something else. Watching the 2021 crash footage next to the 2015 Amarillo disaster showed that though the crashes look similar, both involving loss of control and violent wall impacts, the outcomes were night and day different. In 2015, Dave barely survived with serious injuries. In 2021, he walked away giving a thumbs up. The evolution in safety technology and car design had quite literally saved his life. However, 2 major crashes in 6 years forced Dave to confront the uncomfortable reality that his own car, in both iterations, had nearly killed him. So the Chevy 2 platform, while iconic and beloved by fans, had serious risks that were becoming impossible to ignore. And with no Prep Kings competition getting faster, more intense, and more dangerous every season, continuing with the same setup felt like tempting fate. That aside, Dave is doing remarkably well after changing cars. But racing isn't the only thing Dave does. His personal life is just as erratic. How is Daddy Dave doing now? Apart from his racing career, Daddy Dave is also a successful entrepreneur who owns a series of auto repair shops known as Comstock Auto Service. These establishments carry the endorsement of BPAC, a brand Dave highly regards for equipment and tools. Dave credits BPAC as his primary choice for manufacturing quality tools and equipment. His auto repair shops have gained a stellar reputation for their exceptional work and top-notch services. What's noteworthy is that despite Dave's celebrity status, his shops are praised for the absence of flashy displays or boastful presentations. They are recognized for focusing solely on delivering excellent service without any unnecessary showboating, a significant compliment for a business associated with a celebrity. In terms of his personal life, many people have wondered why he's called Daddy Dave. According to some sources, that nickname reportedly came from the fact that Dave has multiple children with different women. While there isn't solely evidence confirming these relationships, this piece of trivia is widely accepted. According to Dave himself, the nickname came from his early racing days. After consistently beating other racers, Big Chief joked using the phrase, "Who's your daddy?" and the name stuck. However, even if the first reason is true, Dave's days of such relationships ended when he tied the knot with Casey Comto on March 1, 2013. It took a while for Dave to open up about his marriage to Casey. The couple now shares the joy of raising 2 daughters, but they've managed to keep their family life private, away from the media spotlight. Following Dave's traumatic accident, Casey encouraged him to step away from street racing. However, they both soon realized that racing was deeply ingrained in Dave's life and couldn't be easily abandoned. Daddy Dave has various sources of income stemming from his involvement in racing and his prominence in the hit show Street Outlaws, which has earned him considerable fame across the USA. While street racing might not initially appear financially rewarding, the cost involved in turning regular cars into high-performance speed machines is substantial. Dave's impressive car collection features vehicles that showcase expertise and investments in the racing scene. Some notable vehicles in his collection include a new ProCharger 481X Combo, Goliath 2.0, Nova, S10, and the Sonoma. These machines aren't just personal possessions, but also represent significant investments in the pursuit of high-speed racing. Through his racing endeavors and appearances on television, Daddy Dave has managed to amass a significant net worth. In addition to his racing pursuits, Daddy Dave earns a substantial salary of $20,000 per episode solely from his appearance on Street Outlaws. This doesn't include his income from other business ventures, including his auto repair shop and sales from merchandise associated with his brand. Considering all these revenue streams, it's no surprise that Daddy Dave boasts an impressive net worth estimated at over $1 million. This figure continues to grow steadily over time thanks to his multifaceted income sources and continued success in the racing and entertainment industry. When it comes to social media, Dave has actively engaged on social media, particularly on Instagram, which serves as his primary platform for sharing updates related to cars and other interests. With approximately 600,000 followers on Instagram, He regularly connects with his fans by sharing content about cars and various topics. He also runs a YouTube channel, Daddy Dave Racing, where he regularly posts content. He remains an active cast member on Street Outlaws, America's List, where racers compete for a spot among the top 25 in the United States. He's quite committed to keeping fans informed and engaged through social media platforms, which also shows his dedication to the racing community and his passion for automobiles. It can safely be said that Daddy Dave faced considerable challenges early in his career, primarily due to financial constraints that prevented him from acquiring a new car. However, through sheer hard work, unwavering dedication, and exceptional talent, he emerged as a prominent figure in the street racing scene. His success as a skilled street racer played a pivotal role in his journey toward accumulating significant wealth. That's all for today. If you're interested in our channel, have a look at this video. Thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe. Is it time for the legend to take a break from the game? Or does he still have a lot to offer in the sport? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.